June 22nd, about June 22nd, about 7 in the morning. We got a female here I found. This one's it's all worn down and tan color, which is kind of unusual. And when I look at the weight, dome, and length, and I'm trying to compare it with the other ones, I can rule out a whole bunch. It's very close to number 9 and number 11 from a year ago. But the marks were on here that I added are not there at all. So normally after a year you can see them. This is Coast Box Turtle number 14, catalog today. It's got a light tan shell, like it's all worn. Added a notch here. There's a kind of a worn mark here. Added a small notch here, but I had a big notch 1, 2, 3 away. Dome 78, length is 171, width's 127, light shell color. And then I used a Sharpie that's a paint stick. I'm going to try these. Got it at Home Depot. It's oil-based paint. Of course, I weighed it. This is a female. There's very little undercut, and then with its legs you've got some yellow markings. This particular one, when I go through my list, is very similar to number 9 and 11. I ruled out all these other ones. Here's number 11 from a year ago. There's a notch here, here, and here. I just added this one. There was no evidence of a notch here. The length is way shorter. Here's another one that had 3 notches. There's no evidence of any of these notches. Normally you can see them in a couple years. The widths and lengths kind of don't line up, so catalog this is a new one, and I'm going to let it go where I found it. The shell all looks worn on this thing, and if we want to just count the rings on here just for kicks, okay, if I go around and try to count the rings for kicks, this has got between 16 and 24. It's real difficult. I usually go through and measure several different places. It's just that's not really the age. You're probably younger than that. You can have 2 rings per season. I'm not really sure, but they're saying it's an urban legend right now. That's one of the reasons I've been cataloging these things, just to see. So I added 16 to 24 rings. And then I'm going to let it go here. Now if they do grow that quick, it could be that this particular 14 is number 9 or 11. And I'll usually put that in here, just need to really mark these with an RFID Yeah, using a pencil in there, I put a mark on each little ring. But this one is so well, kind of got a weird wear pattern on it, like it's been bleached, or maybe it got gnawed on by something big. It's really difficult to count. Again, rings are just not really indicative of age. I think you can get more than one ring a year is what I believe can happen. It's just another clue. The dome height on these things is generally something with time gets to be bigger. The length can be variable because it can get chewed on by an animal and you can get all sorts of damage here. The width tends to get bigger every year. The notch thing on here, I've found that when I've notched and known one that I know exactly what it is, a year later the notch, I mean, all this grows out like your fingernails. It can be to where they disappear fairly quick. It's I don't know, in the internet some people say you can notch them and identify them years later. Maybe you can on some other type of turtle tortoises, but these seems like they grow so quick that it's not necessarily a very good thing to use. Let's see if we can get it to come out of its shell. You can see the yellow right there on the front legs tends to be females. Got a flat bottom, that's a female. A higher dome height. To the length tends to be a female. And I can't see its tail. Tails tend to be shorter. The eye color on here, at least in this variety, tends to be kind of questionable. So I'm going to let her sit down and go back to her business. Usually put them back where I found them. This Sharpie here is the oil-based. This is made in Vietnam. I got these at Home Depot. In the paint section, where the spray paint and stuff is, it's a 35241. It says opaque paint marks on virtually anything. So we'll see how long this lasts. He's using some ideal industrial markers and they seem to work for a few months. Might just have to resort to standard enamel paint.